Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Broyans Farm. Today's kind of a rainy, gloomy day, so I don't expect to see much sun. First thing I want to do is come in here to the seed room and show you what things are looking like. Zinnias and basil, I would say, grow the fastest, come up the fastest. And so this is them right here. I just planted them like 2 days ago. And they're just coming out of the soil right now. Our begonias, I don't even know if the camera will pick it up, but they are like micro, just coming out. So small you almost need a magnifying glass just to look at them. And so now is really when we gotta pay close attention to them because they can't get dry at all. I mean, that little tiny baby root system will die if it gets anywhat dry because they like to be wet at first. And it also can't get too cold at all because if that happens, well, it's gonna kill it off too. So we just gotta keep a close eye on them until they get established a little bit more. They are probably one of the slowest growing plants that we have in the whole greenhouse. And we kind of struggle with them every year because of it, but every year we're learning a little more about them. And this year, we think we're gonna put some fertilizer to them a little bit sooner to get them to shoot up before, you know, they get dry, get cold, and then die off like usually happens every year. Update on the purple fountain grass. In the garbage here, you can see all this dead grass. Mom went through the other day and cleaned a lot of them up and they actually look a lot better. So now I actually have a little bit more hope for them. She gave them a haircut. And I think just pulled a lot of the dead stuff out from within it. And so they're still pretty yellow, but like this one actually has more green than most. But that, I don't know, it's very iffy. This guy looks good. I think the bigger, thicker plant is doing the best. Because like I said from the beginning, I'm pretty sure the stall stems back from being too cold going through shipping, and they just couldn't handle it. I'm gonna be working on a little bit of seeding today. I'm gonna be doing Utah celery, which for the past couple years has not done good for us, but we went with a different company. And we have obviously brand new 2024 seeds, so we're hoping for a better turnout with that. We have all the different salvias. And then we have parsley, which we have the Italian and the moss curled. Just a little bit to do today. The big next thing we got going on is onions. Usually they would have been in by now, but like I said, we're waiting for that new seed tray, and then we'll get hopefully them all done, which is going to be around 25 to 30,000. Make sure the date's good. 2 February 22nd, okay. And then celery and Utah. There it is. Print. Print. Perfect. Cut it off. Of course it falls to the ground. All right. Tags are printed. We're ready to start. I don't really know if Lily wants to go out or stay in or she's just chilling, but she's making me a little bit nervous just standing there like that. It's the next day. I just got in here to the greenhouse, and the first thing I got to do is uncover the seedlings. So every night, which I don't think I've showed this part of it yet, we will cover all the seedlings with plastic. Just keeps that heat and moisture underneath that cover. You can see actually how all the little water droplets are there. And actually, you can leave these on all day long as there's no sun out. But if the sun comes out, the temperature underneath that heat mat will go up to like 95, and then it's just getting too hot. But the sun is supposed to come out at some point today, so I'm going to take these off now. So now all the plastic is off. One thing I did want to mention is that we only cover them until they start coming up out of the soil. Like these onions and chives here, they're not coming up at all, so we'll cover them again probably for the next couple days. But now down here, these, or at least certain varieties, are starting to come up. Like the zinnias here are both up enough to where now I will not cover this tonight. Well, I'll either won't cover this whole thing tonight, or I'll just move these to the back section. The back section right here is where we move stuff once it's up, but yet we don't think it's warm enough out in the big house to take it out yet. So like these now, they're grown enough, we can take them out. They're not gonna die. They're up quite a ways. But like still the begonias, they're just baby little things, and we don't want to take them out yet. We just want to baby them in here a little bit longer. But still, the zinnias now we'll bring over here. Probably these peppers we'll bring over here. And then we'll still keep covering this stuff, because what happens is every single day we take that covering off, we just take a little bit more vermiculite off of each tray, or we'll actually sometimes pull out even a little tiny sprout, because that moisture makes that little tiny plant stick to it, and then it just rips it out when we pull the plastic off. So we just got to be careful and use our own judgment when we think they're big enough to get them out or move them to a different section. In my opinion, cloudy days are the easiest days in the greenhouse, because you don't have to worry about temperature, opening and closing doors. You don't have to worry about really pots drying out or things, you know, getting wilty. But also, all these plants love sunshine, and they're not gonna grow properly. You're gonna have more diseases without that sunshine. And so, sunshine really is better, but it's just nice to have a cloudy day every once in a while to give us a little bit of a break. Some of you guys were asking what we use as far as waters and like the name brands of them. So I'm gonna quick show you exactly what we use to water the seedlings and to water just all the pots and everything throughout the greenhouse. And then I'm also gonna show you my list of how much I cover the seedlings in different varieties. I know I got one of those questions as well. Just because, you know, if you are doing your own seeding, sometimes it can make all the difference in the world if you're just covering them too much or not enough. So this is one of the nozzles we use right here, which is called a Faucet. And I'm gonna have a link in the description below, right through Amazon. That's where I bought them from. This is the super fine one. We really don't use this one a lot, but if we're watering something very delicate, then that's what we'll use. The one we use the most, and which we use basically every single day here in the seed room, is another Faucet, and the label on this one's like kind of purpley, and that's like the medium-sized one. 1 gallon per minute is how much that one puts out. The other green one I was just telling you puts out probably half a gallon per minute. Yeah, half a gallon per minute. So that's the one we found the best. It can do a good job and water quite a bit and not a lot of time, but it doesn't put out so much water to where you're flushing that seed back out of the soil. Now, we used to use one of these babies right here for the longest time until, and I'll put a link in the description with this as well. I don't even know who makes this. It's just cheap, like I said, off Amazon, but it works well for that style. But what we've moved to now is what's called the Wonder Water right here. I think, in my opinion, this works the best. You know, you not only have your shut off on your actual hose, but then you have another little one right here you can turn, and just really no leaks. And another thing that's great is you can actually loosen this collar right here and turn, you know, this part any way you want to, and then tighten it back up. So that's really nice. It's got a nice foam handle, which kind of dries out over time, whatever. And also puts out a nice fine stream with all those little tiny holes, but yet can do a lot in a little amount of time and just does a really good even job. So that's what we found is the best. Oh, also in here, when you take this thing apart, it has its own filter. So you can take that apart, clean that out if you want to. That way, you know, if you have any kind of debris going through your hose and it gets clogged, well, you're not gonna lose water pressure over time, and you're not also clogging up all these little tiny holes. So that is definitely the best that we have found so far. If you wanna see what we use as far as covering, the guide, I have my whole sheet right here. Now, I did not make this. I'm pretty sure Dave, the guy who had the greenhouses before us, made this. And I don't know if he did this just over experience and, you know, just found out over time, or if, you know, he actually did the research and, you know, then just copied it down onto paper. I don't really know. But what I do know is that's what I follow every single day, and it works just fine for us. So you can pause the video if you want to, you know, maybe take a picture or a screenshot of this. But this is from 2022. He updated it, I guess. He has the soil temps of what, you know, that specific variety prefers. And then he also has cover. C means cover. No light. I don't know actually know what the N means, so kind of just disregard that. But CL means cover light. CVL means cover very light to light. You know, you almost wouldn't even have to cover it. L just means light. Cover deep. That means plant your seed deep and then cover it heavy. Cover deep, cover deep. So yeah, that's basically it. There's all the varieties. Here's page number 2. Here's page number 3. There might be some repeats on here, but at least you get the point. And then here is page number 4. Also, you know, we have a list, and we actually kind of updated the dates now. We're planning some things earlier and some things later, so don't really go off of this. But yeah, I think this is awesome. And it really did make a difference. When we first started, I didn't really know what I was doing and how much to cover stuff, so I kind of just did a lot of things the same. I would just cover them with a nice even amount, not too heavy, not too light. But then I found out that some things, like begonias and petunias for instance, didn't have to be covered at all. And I was covering them, and I wasn't actually not having the success rate that I wanted for germination. And so just that little bit of not covering made a big difference. So do with that what you want. If that's gonna help, great. If it doesn't, well, it's there anyway. And I'm definitely not telling you I'm any kind of expert with any of this stuff. So you don't have to follow that stuff to a T, and you might have your own preferences to what you like, but that's what we found works the best. Also, another thing that makes a big difference is just the seed and where you get it from. Like certain packages that we get of different kinds of seeds, some will say 95% germination, some will say 90, some will say 85, some are as low as 60. So just because you do everything right doesn't mean the seed's gonna come up 100%. Sometimes it's just the actual seed itself that germinates at that percentage. We had some rain last night. It's kind of melting the snow, which is nice. I can't wait till the snow's gone. Kind of foggy too. I know for a fact I just heard a robin chirp. For some reason, we always kind of like mark down on our calendar when we see the first robin. And I'm not gonna mark it down until I physically see it. But today is February 23rd, and I'm 99% sure that was the first robin. I'm physically walking all the way over here to the woods just so I can see a robin, because it's driving me absolutely insane. I know they're here, I can hear them. I know that's a robin that just flew. Wait, is that the first robin right there? That's a robin right there, I know it is. There's 2 robins. They're very skittish. Right there she is, first robin, or he. That's what I'm calling it a wrap for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching, and always remember it ain't much, but it's honest work.